Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak. A whole new expansion with new locations, old returning monsters, and new ones for you to hunt. I had no idea what I had in store for me going into this, but I knew this was going to be a little bit more of a challenge. There are many different ranks in Monster Hunter games, and sometimes ranks are hidden behind different play modes. So for example, I started playing back on my 3DS when Monster Hunter 4U came out. Those were some really good times. Back then, village quests were called caravan quests, but they're functionally pretty much the same. When I was younger, I thought that the caravan quests were the full experience, and that low rank was 1 to 6 stars and high rank were 7 to 8, and all could be done in the caravan. What I didn't know was that the Gathering Hub quest, that I thought was just a weird way to do multiplayer, actually had a hidden rank called G-Rank quests. They had new subtypes and even new monsters that I've never seen. But I had no clue about any of that. And unfortunately I had to sell my 3DS and missed out on playing G-Rank entirely, so I never experienced that difficulty. Even to this day I haven't. Like when Iceborne came out, I played it for 10 to 20 minutes before I put it down to do something else, and I never went back unfortunately. So not only do I normally go in blind for these challenges, I'm also experiencing Master Rank or G-Rank for the first time ever. You see, previously I took on both low rank and high rank damage lists. And if you missed those, you could go back and watch both of them down in the description and this info card here, and I definitely recommend watching those ones. After fighting all Mother Narwa, I felt like I really needed a break. It was very rough and it was definitely hard, so I decided to do some other challenges and games just to cool down. And I really felt like it was needed, since I don't think I could handle what's in store for me soon without it. A little under a year ago, I was barely at 100 subs. But after I released the original video, you guys loved it so much, you allowed me to break 1,000 subs. I didn't ever think I would get here, and it's crazy to think that one of my personal favorite games and this awesome community got me here. So thank you so much for everything. But now, I'm ready to show you the ups and the major downs of this run, the struggles, the emotions going all over the place, and most importantly, the resets. First, there's a few things we need to talk about, like for example, the rules of this challenge. So, number 1, don't take any damage. And yeah, that's all types of damage, such as lava, fire, explosions, poison, anything of the like. Number 2, there's no co-op. I have to run the solo. I can't ask for help, and I can't fire SOS signals, but I'm allowed to bring my Palamute and Palico. 3, I could do 1 non-monster key quest per rank. And what I mean by that is I have to fight monsters to continue on with the challenge. It's kind of the spirit of it anyways. Number 4, farming is allowed if you want more items. However, the rules of the run still apply during those farming runs, so if I get hit, I have to drop everything I gathered and restart. Number 5, beat all of the story quest, urgent quest, and key quest until the credits roll and the final cutscene plays. We did have a rule at number 6, but since rampages are a thing of the past, we don't need to worry about that, so that goes away. Secondly, I decided, since this was the final part of the game, I wanted to look cool. Since layered armor was unlocked for me, I wanted a permanent look that didn't seem like I was starting out the game. I mean, I'm in Master Rank, I have to look the part now, you know? And speaking of looking the part, we could help you with that with today's sponsor, Slaker. Once again, I'm sponsoring this video with my merch line with Slaker. And since this is also a really big moment for me, we made a new shirt design just for you. It has original art of this awesome game, and for 2 weeks after this video, we're going to have a 10% off code you could use if you use the word Sunbreak. And if that shirt isn't for you, we also have some cups, beanies, hats, desk mats, and much more. But thank you again to Slaker, and go get some cool merch and an awesome discount. Another thing I wanted to talk about is that throughout this run, I wanted to try other weapons to see if I could branch out now that we have the skills from high rank. Now, this isn't mandatory, but it's something I wanted to try my hand at. So even going into this, I decided that if I can't do other weapons, it's still fine. Also, with this run in particular, I did turn off the timer, since it was making me actually a little bit more anxious, and I focused on the timer rather than the run itself. But at the end of the video, I will tell you how long it took me to do this whole thing. Now, with all of the rules covered and everything done, I think it's finally time to ask the one question that many of you want to know. Can you beat Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak without taking any damage? At this point, we're still at Kimura Village from the base game, but a new quest has appeared. It seems like Sunbreak has a little bit more story to follow, so we're actually going to follow that a little bit more this time. Rondine the trader came up to us and told us she received a letter from her sister saying that monsters from the kingdom have started invading its neighboring territories, and we are on that short list of neighboring territories, and that there's a Daimyo Himitar that was spotted in the shrine ruins. And with that, we were kind of voluntold to go deal with that monster. And being the brave soul that I was, I decided to take the initiative and bring a longsword to the first fight.
Fearful, fidgety felines, advancing through the night. When suddenly, out of nowhere, a horrid face causes fright. Be calm. There's no need to cry or moan. It's just some old weather-beaten bone. Yet not all is what it seems, for below this giant skull hides a devious monster waiting for some prey to go.
Honestly, it didn't go well. I did a quick high rank quest to practice the weapon, but it also really didn't help me out. After a few more failed attempts, it seems the longsword in me doesn't really click. I switched back to the light bow gun, and after only 2 attempts, I took it out.
Hey, hold up! We need to evacuate the village. I'll use a flash bomb. Who are you?
Leave the beast to me. This is a royal matter.
After meeting Dame Fiorane in a rather flashy encounter, she talked to us about a calamity that happened in the kingdom centuries ago, where a hole appeared in the capital, and from that, the elder dragon Malzeno emerged and caused havoc, but then just disappeared. And then again 50 years ago, the same thing happened. So now the kingdom set up an outpost called Elgato to watch over the land. And since things are starting to ramp up, the village elder decided that I should be the one to go and help them. And with that, we're on our way.
I pray that the seas weren't too rough on you. That's good to hear. We shall be in port soon. This is our outpost, Elgato.
Once we arrived, and after talking with the Admiral, I had to look around, since this is the new hub for our adventure, with new characters to meet and things to unlock. The first thing I did was I unlocked the new hopping skewers that will upgrade the first and second dingo, but will downgrade the third one. We're going to be using this from now on since level 4 Dangos are very strong. Master Suchi also taught me the switch skill switch, where we're able to change the skill loadouts while out in the field. I finally talked to the quest damsel, which actually turned out to be the princess, and she filled me into some monsters called the Three Lords. We've seen one of them, the Ludogoron, but she also told us about the Garamgolm and Malzeno, and that sooner or later we're gonna have to take all of them on. But for now, we got sent out to fight a Royal Ludrith in this beautiful new locale. Once again, I used the longsword. Since I know it's a good weapon, it just isn't working out for me. And after a few failed runs, I decided to go to the dojo and try to learn some of its moves. It didn't click, and I don't know why. And after a few more failed runs, I finally switched to the greatsword. Our first run didn't go very well at all, but during our second run, which had a lot of hit and run tactics, we finally got it. Honestly, I thought that was going to be a little bit more of an issue, but I'm glad it wasn't. The greatsword was actually pretty easy to use. The next fight was another returning monster, the Tetranodon, and I wanted to try out the heavy bowgun. Okay, I lied. I wanted to try the switch axe, yeah? Okay, guess not. So the next day rolls around, and I didn't want to be on this monster anymore.
No! And after that, we took out the light bowgun and beat him easily.
At this point, I really wanted to beat a monster with a different weapon. So I took out the bow and went to fight a Baroth. And it wasn't an easy fight.
Nope, I got fucked up.
See, switching weapons and playstyles mid-game is kind of rough, but hey, it was a fun thing to do.
Well, okay, that failed already. No! Can I? Oh, no.
After a few attempts, we finally captured Baroth with this bow. At this point, I kinda was on a battle high, and we went straight back in and tried to fight a Volvidon. We also took the heavy bowgun out and tried it out.
Of course.
This time, it actually wasn't too bad. The bombs kept on knocking him out of his roll animation, so we got him pretty easily in a couple attempts.
See that? Got it. Got it.
Opportunity may present itself from the most unexpected of places. As folly begets yet more folly. And even if it results in a disaster of unknown proportions, the cycle of stupidity created by these creatures could appear like a feast to the crazed eye.
Ha, look, our first new subspecies, the blood orange Bishtin. Honestly, this fight was a normal Bishtin with a few extra explosions that genuinely did catch me off guard.
Hey, Marionette Spider. Oh, it goes sideways. Got it.
No, stop screaming at me.
You don't... No, you bastard!
I still got hit a fair amount, but most of them were because I didn't pay attention or just sloppy movement or me just straight up walking into the explosions. But in the end, we got him. We quickly moved on to the Rathian, which seems like we've gotten used to them since it only took us 4 tries.
Oh my god! Yes!
Salmoncanth was next on this list, and I was feeling super confident, so I decided to switch to my main weapon when I normally play, the Charge Blade. Okay, so it seems like I got actually super rusty with it, but okay. So let's try and go to the switch axe. Let's try this. Yeah, God. Okay, well, that also didn't work. We're just going to try to beat it with the light bow gun and just get past this.
Oh, okay.
Once back in town, I was told there's a new urgent for us to do, an Anjanath. And man, that was kind of easy. I did put my guard down sometimes, and I got hit by a small Jagras. And with that, I got a little salty, and I let it get to me a little bit more. Then I got hit by some other dumb things.
No. Here it should be.
But after 5 attempts, I got it. During the cleanup of that hunt, we met a Wyverian named Bahari, a researcher for the kingdom. He told us that he's close on finding Garangolm's location, but he just needs a little bit more time, and that I needed to go back to Elgato and keep assisting the kingdom until he's ready to find it. So here we go, back to the normal hunts again. And of course, the first one is Bobi Barbachi. This hunt was going smoothly. I'm staying on my toes, dodging everything, and making sure I had the upper hand. Until... Yeah, I'm not sure if it's because I'm just not used to fighting him still, or it's just that he's faster in master rank, but that hit seemed very personal. Well, on the second run, I captured him, and I was able to move on to the next one. I brought my charge blade out back for Basarios. Honestly, I'm not sure why. Basarios is a rock, and I'm gonna bring a blade. Yeah, I could get a natural Mind's Eye, but with it, I still need to hit it to get the charges up, and getting Mind's Eye on the sword is a very long animation, so I'm kind of stuck there. Maybe if I was better at the guard points, I could have been better, but even with the guard points, I take chip damage. I don't know. After a while, I switched to a poison charge blade, just to help to go against the monster's natural weakness, but even that, I wasn't really working out.
Dodge. Fully asleep. Uh-oh.
So with all of these plans not going the way I wanted, I decided to try out the hammer.
Yep.
And each run, I was getting closer and closer to the end with this weapon, and I was feeling that any moment I actually could beat it. But that's when I did the dumbest thing. I was fighting monsters off stream with the charge blade, trying to practice this weapon, so you know, I wanted to do the run with it. And I completely zoned out, and I finished the quest while taking damage. I didn't even realize what I did until it was too late. The first thing I did was I sold all of the items that I earned, and now I was stuck completing this quest because this is a completed quest. And another unfortunate thing is that it was a multi-monster one. The one with 3 small raptors, essentially. I ran it over and over and over again with the charge blade to unfortunately no avail. I just couldn't do it with the charge blade. So I switched to the switch axe. Also, I didn't do well there. At this point, I didn't want to go back to the light bow gun since I spent so much time running with the other weapons and practicing, but I didn't feel like I actually got any further with them. And because I quote-unquote completed this quest, I had to do it. I was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. So begrudgingly, I equipped my light bow gun, and after a few attempts, I finished this quest without taking any damage. Once I returned to town, Bahiri came back and told us that he knew where one of the 3 lords were, and it's time for us to go out and fight it. Garangolm.
A pure creature, lingering to its heart's content. It looks docile and innocent at first glance. But if it's disturbed from its peaceful desires, pure anger becomes pure strength. As its power grows, so does its ire. Getting in its way is risking life and limb. It's already too late to realize that this creature's desires are not to be trifled with.
Unfortunately, while I was getting all the footage together for this fight, for some reason I just couldn't find the original fight. But instead of leaving this place blank, I redid the fight, and we're just going to go off based on the notes that I did. So here's just a little recreation, I guess. The first thing that I noticed is that we have an NPC that's required to be with us in this fight. So there's a new follower mechanic that you could have a pseudo multiplayer experience with up to 3 different followers. And you could do missions and unlock more followers. And all of those are able to choose from up to 4 different weapon types. Honestly, this system's kind of cool. It still allows you to be the main hunter, but it allows you to get some of the aggro off of you. However, we do need a new rule. Number 6. I cannot use followers unless it's mandatory. So yeah, this fight wasn't super bad, and I think I wiped a total of 2 times before I finished Garangolm.
What on earth? I sense something odious.
As per usual, as soon as I hit Master Rank 3, a whole bunch of new things opened up in the town. So I did some busy work and unlocked new things. But our first key quest for the 3 that we have is a choice between Almaldron, Shogun Centaur, Barioth, Gossarog, and a double quest of Anjanath/Tobi-Gadachi. Most of those don't sound too bad, but I chose Shogun first.
The hunter thinks its prey vanquished. But what it finds are not the spoils of victory, but discarded armor shed like a husk. And when the beast finds its next target, it doesn't think twice about leaving its old shell behind. It finds new armor to don. Its blades as deadly as ever. Those who oppose it have no choice but to atone with their lives.
My first run against them, I felt like I got pretty far. I was still learning the moves, and the slopey terrain was allowing me to slide under the claws pretty well. Until it didn't. This fight was like 90% dodging and 10% damage. And because of that, it took a lot longer to fight this crab. I tried multiple different strategies to fight it, and I was starting to turn out like a monster that I couldn't actually finish, so I tried it over and over again until I decided to take a break for a moment and go farm some just random stuff somewhere.
It still kind of is.
After that, I got my head on straight and we went back to this grind. During this time, I was still streaming and having a good time with chat, but I needed a little bit more breaks because I was getting a little bit more salty. So we talked with chat, then we got hit, then we talked with chat again, then we got hit over and over for 2 hours straight. Finally, after so much pain, time, and pierce ammo, we finally caught Shogun. You know, since I didn't think I was in enough pain, I decided to go fight Barioth, and I got wrecked so fast this first time. But hey, I felt like I was kind of in a groove.
There you are.
And we finally got him on the 3rd try. At this point, the only real choice was to beat Gossarog. I beat them on the 1st try. Yeah, that was simple. Let's go to the next urgent. Hey look, a new subspecies. Aurora Salmoncanth. And honestly, I was kind of disappointed by this fight. See, I'm used to subspecies, you know, changing something bigger, or at least making the fight feel a little bit different, but this is just another Salmoncanth, and we got it easily on the 1st try. At this point, we're halfway through Master Rank 3, and we got some more monsters to choose from, and feeling somewhat confident, I chose to go fight Nargacuga. I chose it since I could try and build the next upgrade for the light bowgun, going to the Night Strix. I haven't talked about it yet, but there's 3 new endemic lives that we're able to use. The first one is a marionette spider, where you can just throw it at a monster, aim at a wall, and then activate the spider one more time. You can have the monster fall over and get stunned if you hit the wall. However, if you miss, they'll just stumble and continue fighting. The other 2 are a type of wire bug. They will augment different things while you're doing wyvern riding. Both of them will speed up wire bug recovery and make it easier to mount the monster. But the ruby wire bug will make the Punisher attack do more damage, whereas the gold wire bug will make these attacks have a higher chance at dropping monster materials. Now, I didn't see this anywhere while researching this, but with my anecdotal evidence, it seems like there's a limit of drops a mission will allow. I'm not sure if it's a hidden timer or anything, but it seems like in a run, I could use it once and hope I hit the right monster. With a little bit more knowledge, I grabbed a gold wire bug and attempted to hit Nargacuga to get some materials to make a new weapon. And after a few material runs, I got all of it. Oh, we got a cut wing too. Sadly, I actually couldn't make the weapon since I think it actually is kind of locked at actually, beating the monster. So I kind of felt like it was a waste of time, but I know when we can make it, it'll just be made. But honestly, while we were doing these, material runs, I actually learned the fight enough that we were able to actually beat it on the first real try. And after that, my guess was right. It was unlocked and we were able to make the new weapon. A little over 90. I did a lot of hard fights that day, so I decided to end the stream for the night. But throughout the week, my wonderful wife brought me some coffee in a cup with a Finnish flag with a word on it called Sisu. I tend to not pay attention to the cup she gives me. I just rather appreciate that she actually took the time to make me coffee. But it seems like this cup was consistently in my hand, so that night I actually asked her what it meant. My wife is Finnish, and her whole family follows that lineage. And she actually told me that Sisu is a Finnish word that means stoic determination, hardiness, courage, bravery, willpower, tenacity, and resilience. I've been through a lot in my life, from, my mental health challenges, to homelessness, to family issues, to, just being on my own since I was 16. And that this challenge is another thing that shows that I just really don't give up, and that I persevere no matter how hard the obstacle is. I really thanked her for her words of encouragement, and it gave me more vigor to continue this next day. With my new weapon in hand and my wife's words at the front of my mind, I decided to take on a monster that has given me grief over the course of these challenges. Magnum Mallow. And easily, we beat him on the second go around, and we're super excited. These key quests were pretty easy. The one that I knew that I was gonna be easy to do was the Arachnakadaki, and I thought it would be fun to beat. I was entirely wrong. I got smacked by, a couple small monsters. But I had to end the stream that day since I had to quickly go somewhere, but it ended up being, a full day. So when we came back on later, we wanted to do this better. I kept a better eye on the smaller monsters, so I tried and tried again, and I got hit and hit and hit and hit. With over like an hour worth of tries, I decided to take another way. I attempted the double fights. The first one was with the crabs. Yeah, that didn't happen. See, I didn't see that was going to be an arena fight, and that was just rough. But then I took on a Garangolm and a Salmoncanth. And after only a single run of it, we got it. Now we could push forward to our next urgent and hopefully make it into Master Rank 4.
Pale moonlight barely breaking through the clouds. A creature wanders restlessly through the darkness, stepping firmly, never dropping its pace. its entire body honed to perfection. Finally, the clouds split apart, and the moon reveals itself. Silver light illuminates the land and the mountains. It dances, it runs, it trembles with unbridled power, and with an entranced roar, it shows its true form.
Another lord, Ludogoron, a speedy ice werewolf type creature. I had to play very cagey and basically play keep away throughout this entire fight, but on our second go around we actually got it. Honestly, I feel like my skill with the light bowgun has significantly gotten better, and I'm actually really proud of how I'm doing. After finally being face to face with a big bad Malzeno, we knew we had our work cut out for us. I can't wait to fight it. But for now, we made it to the next key quest, and I went for Mitsusune. And second try, we popped him with no real challenge. Oh fuck. 3? Oh my gosh. I wanted to try Diablos, and I paid for it. That was the fastest I have seen that monster move ever. Even looking at that footage, it was really fast. But hey, we took on Rathalos, and now we give up on Rathalos. I've actually had a great result with the other two monster fights, so I went and fought both Shogun Centaur and Arathian. After a longer 15-minute fight, I beat them first go around.
Are you all right?
I'm okay. The research team has returned. I must go.
Hey! Someone get help!
When I came back into Elgato, Fioraine grew sick from the wound she got earlier, and the poison in her was wreaking havoc. So I was tasked on finding a doctor to help her, and with that, I went out to fight more monsters in the field to look for him. Our questions led us back to our old home, and there, Itsuchi gave us 2 new switch skills for every single weapon. And even though the new skills are actually kind of cool, I actually rarely use them, and after some testing, it was actually time for us to go to the next urgent.
One hit is all it takes to extinguish fragile life. When struck by its lightning, the effect will endure until death. An example of its violent, murderous nature. No matter how many lives are sacrificed, it will never subside, as if the copious amounts of blood it sheds can never be matched.
Man, this is such a cool monster. Astalos. It's a cool dragon bug lightning monster thing, and I just love it. I fought it once when I played Monster Hunter Generations Double Cross Ultimate. Man, that's a mouthful. And my first run against it went terrible. I once again stayed in the fight to watch and learn it. And what I learned is that it really hurts. After 2 hours of fighting and failing, we finally got it. And with enough dodging and skill, we finally eked out a win. And with that win, we actually found Dr. Todori and brought him back to the town. They said they needed a little bit more time to make the medicine, and that I should go help stem the tide of monsters once again. This time, I only needed 2 monsters before the next urgent. So the first one we took on was an ogre, since we've beaten him twice before, and I figured it would be an easy win. After that hit, I actually was right. After 2 tries, we got him. Hey, look at this! We got a new monster again, Seregios. And I got absolutely destroyed. Yep, no, maybe this one's a little too fast for me at the moment. So instead, I went for the double quest of Barioth and Magnamalo. Honestly, I was a little down, and I gave up on this fight after 1 try. We went into a new subspecies, Magma Omuldron. It was genuinely a difficult fight, but it was somewhat refreshing. Where it was hard, but I could still do it. And after my second attempt, I was able to actually beat it. Honestly, it seems like the second attempt is when I truly lock in for most of these fights. When I come back into town, the doctor says that he's completed the medicine, but he needs to raise this potency. So he tasked us to get the poison of an Espinas. So there we have it, our new fight.
This is where it dwells quietly, blending into its environment. And if any should appear to disturb its peaceful slumber, they will soon find out that this mistake will cost them their lives.
See, I love this monster. It attacks with poison and fire both, and it's honestly just a really fun fight. Also, it's the first time I fought this, and it's so cool seeing a monster from Frontiers. At the very start of the fight, Espinas is always asleep, which means you could do a good wake-up hit with the barrels. But something I actually didn't know is that it can move while it's sleeping, and when it moves, it actually deals damage, making my first attempt end quite quickly. However, I did stay in the fight just a little bit longer, just to see all of the fight and the moves it could do. And it actually wasn't too bad. Even though in the end, it did one-shot me. Paying attention to all of its moves, I was actually able to clear it in 3 attempts. And with that, we unlocked the last parts of Master Rank 4, and one of my all-time favorite monsters, and one that I genuinely have a deep kinship with. Gore Magala.
No one could have seen it coming. This stalking shadow. The mist that envelops it. An evil force that consumes its prey. It's already too late. Even those who struggle in a desperate effort to survive are beaten and pinned down by its overwhelming force. Not until the end, when all is over, will it reveal its ghastly form.
Coming into this fight, I was super worried that if I get inflicted with Frenzy, I would take damage. Since I actually have a memory that his Frenzy is similar to Poison, which I looked up, it's not even a real thing. You don't take damage for having Frenzy. For the uninitiated, Frenzy is a blight that Gormagala can inflict. First, it has a build-up phase, where during that time, you're able to do two things. One, let the blight go over, or two, inflict enough damage until you could quote-unquote beat the Frenzy virus. If you do happen to beat the Frenzy virus, you get two buffs. The first thing is you get a short affinity boost, as well as you're not able to be inflicted by the Frenzy buildup for a short duration as well. If you fail to clear the Frenzy buildup in time, it actually will overtake you. At that point on, you could no longer have natural regeneration, and you take more damage if a monster hits you. While fighting Gore on other methods, I actually tend to get hit by the Frenzy virus because I really like that affinity boost. He's a very, very fast monster, so I played definitely a little cagey, and we actually got him on the first attempt, which we followed up with a one-shot on the Tigrex too. Well, alright.
Lady Fiorine, she's okay. The medicine, it's working. Fiorine.
I'm sorry. I couldn't be here when the kingdom needed me.
Fiorine.
Oh.
I'm so glad you're okay.
All right, everyone. Time for the counterattack.
It's good to see Fiorine feeling better, but even more, it's time to take on the big bad, the one who caused all this suffering, and the final of the three lords, the regal dragon, Malzeno.
Those who let themselves be lured into the trap will be whisked away by a swift gale, the embodiment of darkness. A darkness that does not let its victims go, as they are slowly drained of their life. The servants keep providing their master with vital essence. And once the time is ripe, the darkness will show itself, basking in moonlight.
Our first attempt ended rather quite abruptly. I didn't expect him to just jump at me, and I was definitely caught off guard. And second try, he did it again. Yeah, I'm not sure how I keep not seeing it. Again and again. Again. Okay, look, for once I didn't get hit by that jump, but I got hit by a seismic pulse. The next run, I got all the endemic life I could and the beetles that I could use. And all I needed to do was to play around the timers of when they spawned. So I took my sweet time, using the stun from Thunder to unload all my heavy bullets, the slow to make sure that he can't hit me, then I ran away. I waited for them to respawn, over and over. I did that for about 35 minutes, until I saw Malzeno was actually limping. I wanted to see if he was going to feed or going to sleep. And I was lucky that he went to zone 14 to sleep. I took my opportunity to use barrels and my mines to set up the highest damage I could do. And then I took my shot. I saw the damage number after damage number pop up, hoping that each one would be the last. And then it came. Attack that I didn't even see him winding up. A seismic dark blast in a line across the arena. I was already mid-dodge when the attack came out, so I wasn't sure if I could move out of the way. And as I saw dark energy and rocks cover my screen, all I could really do is look up at my health bar. And that's when I noticed. My health bar didn't move. He didn't hit me. So I frantically started shooting again and again and again, and the first volley was it. I was finally able to beat Malzeno. I was so ecstatic that I almost forgot to carve.
They've lost their host. And now they flee. Or do they?
The first monster I wanted to try to attempt was Rajang. I wanted to get some payback for all the other ranks, where he wiped the floor with me. I mean, what I meant to say is that I wanted to get even with Basilgeuse for all the times he attacked me in World. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so he's still kind of annoying. However, on the 4th attempt, and with the help of Tigrex, we got him. I followed that fight up with a Ludogoron Zinogre fight, which surprisingly wasn't that bad at all. So much that we actually beat it the first time. Back in Elgato, Bahari is confused. He says the Curio are weakening from not having a host, but for some reason they're happy, and he doesn't know why. He still needs more time to look into it, so we should just fight more monsters while we wait. Which, of course, I don't object to. The Quest Princess tells us that the dragon we're about to fight has laid waste to many a kingdom, and that's our next target. Shagaru Magala. It's actually my second favorite Magala, and it's super, super awesome.
At the tail end of a reckless battle, two beasts find themselves in a place they don't belong. And when the master of this land appears, not even the mightiest attacks can do it any harm. With its overwhelming strength, it pummels and pins down its prey. Its endless anger fills the air in the form of a deafening roar as it prepares to feast without leaving a single bone.
That cinematic is just so gorgeous. The pure terror and carnage, as well as fighting to shred its dark scales to show a beautiful shimmering visage, is just so cool. The fight isn't super different to the gore version, it just is a lot more aggressive, and I definitely have to be on my toes a lot more. But even with that, it's still an Elder Dragon for a reason. I also learned about a new move he had on my 4th attempt. A giant laser to the face. And after many attempts, and on the 13th attempt, I got him. See, I just played super aggressive and made sure that he was on his toes rather than me. Something big was happening, and we didn't know what. But after watching that Anjanath just get ravaged, the only real theory is that they found a new host. But who was the host? We didn't know, but we are determined to find out. But for now, we just needed to hunt some Elder Dragons. First on the menu is Chameleos. It honestly didn't change too much from high rank. I mean, he still hurts. But we finally got it. Next, it was Kushla Deora. We had a few close calls, but it went down first try. Back in Elgato, the Admiral talked about something called the Archdemon of the Abyss, and that all the Curio are gathering at the Citadel. But they told us that we were needed out on the field with the Doctor. And it seems like we have to fight another Ludogoron? Huh. This mission was unsettling, to say the least. Scattered around the area were monsters who have passed away. The music was eerie and unsettling, and the Ludogoron was surrounded by curio. Admittedly, I was a little distracted by the ambiance and I got hit. But while looking around again, I noticed that all the endemic life was gone as well. After the 2 more attempts, we captured it. But I couldn't shake the feeling that something big was about to happen.
What the? Tadori, what's going on here?
Homing instinct. Yes. It seems they've found the place they belong.
Homing instinct? Oh, it can't be. Run! Retreat! How can we? It's impossible.
Admiral Gallius!
They've done it. They've actually done it.
Look at the size of it.
On port!
On port!
What is he going to do?
Now, full speed ahead!
Full speed ahead!
Dragonators! Number 1! Number 2!
Dragonators! 1, 2, ready!
Admiral!
Fire!
Yes!
Want some more?
Number 3! Full reverse! Lower the stern!
Full reverse, lower the stern!
Fire!
Oh, yeah!
And it looks like I was right. It seems like the Admiral knew this all along, and once the connection was made, he ordered the ship and was given approval to construct it, and got there just in time. But now, they call upon me one more time to help fight this monster, the Geismgorm, Archdemon of the Abyss.
From the depth, its voice can be heard. The time has come. From the depth it beckons, come to me. As it feeds on stolen life, its power grows ever stronger. Until it finally reveals itself.
Here we are. I never thought I would get this far. But even though I was terrified of this fight, I went in. The scale and overwhelming power of this monster was shown on the first attempt. I got hit by the roar of this monster. And now I was shown how small I was in comparison to it. Just gonna throw the rock. The hell is that move?
Moment I can't forget, when everyone seemed to let go.
Don't like being in the corner, so I'm getting out of the corner.
She's of a better deed. Sacrifice
That could have been very bad. I'm very glad that
for a moment in life.
the fact
What
that
can we do to make it right?
I didn't think we were gonna.
Hesitation coming around again. Termination of all that we could have been. In a world where no one bothers, it is hard to deliver the truth and ignore the dreams of others with nothing to lose. Struggle against the odds. No one is helping us to make order of this mess. There's a feeling I can't evade that rises when I'm afraid. Will we ever live again?
Well, that fucking
So many
sucks.
things that should have been. Hesitation coming around again. Termination of all that we could have been. In a world where no one bothers, it is hard to believe in the truth and ignore the dreams of others with nothing to lose.
I thought I was out of the way. I didn't. Man, this is a rough fight, but I couldn't give up. I've gone this far for so long. I stayed up multiple nights working on the other videos and fights, and I've gone through so much just to be here. This isn't just a fight anymore. It's the culmination of everything I've done, from how much I've grown over the years. I needed to push through. The journey may seem impossible. Do it anyway. The only way to finish anything in life is to take that first step. And even if you're afraid, I guess, do it scared.
In a world of unbelievers, there is no way of getting across to a crowd of true receivers. I think I'm lost. Hesitation coming around again. Termination of all that we could have been.
And there we have it. There it is. We did it. We could finally say, yes, not only can we beat Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak without taking any damage, we could beat all of Monster Hunter Rise without taking any damage. Yes!
It's so quiet. It's good to see things return to normal. Elgato's lights. They're all out. The story has ended. And we're home.
That precious smile from the old time.
Thank you so much for watching. And as Furain says, this story has ended. But thanks to all of you, with your support, my story here has just begun. I hope that over the years I could make entertaining content and just bring you consistent joy. Also, at this point, I'm an official YouTube partner. We broke 1,000 subs a few days ago, and it's so cool that you guys enjoy the content that much. I do hope this is a good enough 1,000 subs special, and it means the world to me that we made it this far. I have plenty of other challenge run content down the pipeline, including more Monster Hunter content for all of you. If you have any ideas on things you would like me to do, go down in the comments and let me know. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It's a small thing, but it helps so much for the YouTube algorithm. On a future note, I will be looking into the viability of Monster Hunter Wilds damage list when it comes out, so I can't wait for that, honestly. And finally, I do want to thank my YouTube members and Patreon supporters listed here. Thank you so much for this opportunity you have given me, and I could not be more grateful for this. Thank you, and for now, peace everyone. Don't forget, do it scared.
The raging wind tries to hurt me. My arms a shield that guards me. That guiding hand from memories past is no longer there. She disappears, so I look up at the
one story ends, one begins. To where do we belong?